Well, good morning. Have you planned your garden yet? Or started ordering your seeds? Well, let me give you just a few quick tips and things that I've done this year towards planting mine. All right, now I planted my garden already and I've ordered my seeds. Now, I don't usually do this until about January, but this year I had a reason. The company that I was planning to order from, Gurney's, uh, they had a good offer, $25 off. And it was only good until December 11th. So I've already ordered. Now, one little tip on ordering seeds, and I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of it. I've ordered from this company before. It's not, I used to order from Henry Fields. Did it for years and was always happy with their product. Always happy with the service. I'd ordered trees and bushes and all kinds of things, garden seeds from them for years. And Henry Fields, though, apparently has gone out of business. And this is a sister company somehow. I'm not sure how it works, but I know that they've always been related. So one reason on these is they carry a nice variety. You get heirloom varieties if that's what you wish. They also have hybrid varieties if that's what you want to plant. You know, for instance, sweet corn. You can get the pearls and gold that's extra sweet and things like that. More expensive, but that's okay. And like I say, there's generally some kind of an offer. Right before this came out with the $25 off for $50 order, and usually my order's around 50, so that kind of works out. Right before that, they had an early bird deal, flat rate shipping for $5, which also is a good deal. Not as good. Well, after I'd ordered, and I'm not going to show you the company name here, this catalog came out. Okay, and I flipped through it, and there was a lot of interesting varieties, and I thought, and they had a deal going. Their deal was packs, $1.99, period, $1.99, as long as you bought 20 packs. Well, that sounded like a pretty good deal too, and I got to thinking maybe I messed up. Maybe I spent more money than I should have. Until I really started looking at it and looking at the details and how much was in the pack. And I realized that while Gurney's sends an ample size package, for example, I bought carrots last year. I planted 4 buckets of carrots. Took a remaining seed to my daughter's house. She planted a bucket, 2 buckets. And we had seed left. So that just give you an idea. This company, the packets were really small. Like a tomato seed packet, it said 8 to 10 seeds. Something of that nature. I don't remember exactly. So, look at what you're going to get. Not just the picture. Okay. Now, that's it for buying seeds. Let's get on to the garden plan. I'm going to move you where we can see the plan. What? Okay. I want you to get a good view so you can see what I've done. Now, as you can see, this is pretty simple, not complicated. I try to keep things simple. I'm not capable of real complicated stuff. Okay, now, as you can see, I have all my beds, not to scale, but enough for a successful plan. I show you I've got numbered where I'm going to plant things. And then on the right here is the list of items that I ordered. Uh, if you look at this little bed, you see I've got a 9 but a 10 under it with a line. That means that's succession planting. The 9 is radishes. When the radishes come out, we're going to plant number 10, that's beets. Okay? Now, that's the game. Now, I have in my book here last year's plan. Okay? Now, I want to point out that last year things were in different spots, naturally. 7, the sweet corn. Okay? Last year it was in this bed. It's moved here. Good reason for that. Corn uses a lot of nitrogen. Okay? So I'm moving it to that bed. That bed didn't have a whole lot in it last year and was, in fact, almost laid fallow. So by the time I give it some rabbit manure, and I probably will scatter a little chicken manure also, then it'll be ready to grow some corn. Corn takes a lot of nitrogen. And the other bed we're planting our green beans, and green beans don't take a lot of nitrogen. In fact, they set nitrogen out of the air. So that's one reason why I always rotate and why I keep this in a book where I can look back. I can see where it was last year if I don't quite remember. At least see where I planned it for last year. And that way, it just makes it pretty simple. Okay? Now, we're doing, how's that what I say? That's one reason, is because different plants take different quantities of different nutrients out of the soil. Some things take a lot of nitrogen. Some things might lean heavily on the potassium. So moving it around kind of evens the load on your garden soil. So that if you're just doing like me, and I'm relying on what you would call composting in place, because by keeping it mulched and always adding to the mulch, that mulch is composting in place. And I'm adding to that rabbit manure and chicken manure, and that is composting in place. Now, the chicken manure, I don't know, might be a little risky, but I don't think so. I'm not tilling it into the soil where it's right there at the roots of the plant. It'll be on top of last year's mulch so that it'll slowly get into the soil, and it'll be composting at the same time. So that's what chicken manure is a little hot. You have to be a little more careful with it. But I think doing it that way, I'm pretty safe. And I'm not going to spread it on thick. It's just going to be a sprinkle, All right, that's one reason. The other reason for rotating is the fact that some things, take, what is it I want to say? Some things get diseases. This bed here, okay? Potatoes, tomatoes, peppers. That's all nightshade family, okay? Nightshade family is very susceptible to blight. And of course, blight's, it's air. It comes through the air, and it's a lot of places. But once you get it in that bed, it's going to be in that bed for 3 or 4 years. So the way I do, my nightshades were in this bed last year. They're going to this bed. Then next year they'll be here. The year after they'll be here. So that's 3 years out of that bed before they go back to there. Okay? So in that amount of time, you're back, you're in good shape. It won't be resident in your soil or in your mulch. And mulch helps keeping you from getting that too, because if it happens to be in the soil, it doesn't splash up on the plants. Okay? So that's the second reason, and that's why you want to always rotate. So, all right, that's most of planting my garden. And I'll add to the plan. There'll be things pop up that I'll decide, hey, wait a minute, I forgot this. Hey, wait a minute, I want some of that. Just looking at it, I might move some things around a little bit because I only have planned on this one cucumbers. Okay? So I might come down here and I might move, the onions into that bed with it. Onions anywhere's fine for onions. They don't care. So there we are. A couple other quick notes that I've mentioned before, but this is like anything else. There's subscribers I didn't have last year that maybe I want to, repeat this so that this year they hear it. Wherever you are in the country, if you want to try to make your garden simpler, there's an ag university somewhere that is probably giving a listing, and it should be easily available on the internet. Just Google it and find out of what varieties grow best in your state. So give that a look at if you'd like. Last note, and I'll move the camera back around for the last note. All right, well, the last note is kind of an apology. I had planned to do some videos through the winter more and work on the rabbits and work on the chickens a little more and kind of try to keep the videos coming. And that hasn't happened, and there's a reason. I fell ill, and I've been off my feet for more than 2 months. And they finally diagnosed it correctly as I had a artery blocked in my leg. And so my foot was swollen and painful and partially numb, and my leg would hurt if I walked very far at all. So I haven't been able to get those things done. So I apologize, but there's good news. I've been to the 1-month checkup after they put stents in that artery, and they say it's 100%, it's doing well. I've got good blood flow everywhere now. And so as long as I do some things that, some lifestyle changes, I should be perfectly healthy and ready to garden when spring comes. So, been to the gym this morning. I'm trying to quit smoking. Not fun at all. But and I'm doing a lower fat diet. So, making some changes and hoping for the best. So, all right, I want you all to have a quality day.